take a look off of the machine at how a blanket stitch works. And so I have brought my little whiteboard here and I've drawn it out a little bit. And first of all, on my machine, when I look, there are 3 blanket stitches.
Yep.
And every time you do a blanket stitch, I always start, me and Suzanne were talking, and it's like, you always start with a scrap piece of fabric,
yep,
because you want to see how your blanket stitch works. So that is always step number 1.
Yes.
And
you can find those blanket stitches all over.
Yes.
In lots of the machines nowadays.
Yes.
Like mine is under applique and utility stitch and quilting.
Yeah.
So you just look around, you can find them.
Exactly. And as we were looking through these stitches on this machine, we found one and I'm like, oh, this one is one, but it's going the wrong direction. But if you wanted to mirror it, it made it just a little bit fancier.
Right.
So you could still use that. So just know that they're there. You can either mirror them or not, and you can have that. So we're going to look at kind of 2 basic stitches that we have. And on the Stellaire and on the Altaire, the Baby Lock Altaire, these were numbered the same. And this is found in stitch section 2, and this is stitch 04. And the reason, this is kind of like your little dot to dot, because what I wanted to show you is it's going to start right here at this spot, right there, okay? So we have that, and it's going to go front, bite, bite, front, bite, bite. And it's just gonna keep doing that. And as you're sewing this, do you say it in your head?
I actually do. In fact, one of the things I really want to talk about, or when I do it, is I'm just going to say, you need to think of the rhythm as you're going, and you just forward, jump, jump, forward, jump, jump. I mean, it just keeps going on in your head.
It does.
You make a little song to it, you know?
And as you get more confident, you start to sew a little bit faster, but you're still saying those words. You're saying either, whether it's front, back, jump, jump, or front, front, bite, bite, whatever you choose to say, it's the same. So if this was here, I'm right here again, and I'm gonna go front, jump, jump. I need to know, when am I gonna pivot?
Well, we're going to talk about that for sure.
Okay, so that's what we want to know is, like, where do I pivot in this? Because what happens if I come front, jump, pivot, and go back?
It's ugly.
Oh, it is ugly, okay?
No, it's not ugly, but it's not what you really want.
It is not what you want. Okay, so this is the other one that we have. This is the 2-03 stitch. And on this one, it's going to start me right there. That is so weird to me.
I thought the same thing.
And yeah, it's like, oh, that's kind of weird. But what it's going to do is it's going to give you one back stitch. So it's going to go back, front, bite, bite. And then it starts its pattern. So as I wrote this out, I put backward, forward, and then I put a little asterisk here because then it's going to go forward, backward, bite, bite. That's your repeat. It's not going to repeat this section. So that's why you need to test it before, because you need to know, where does the repeat start in my stitch? Okay, so I'm here, I went back, front, bite, bite, and now I'm going to go front, back, front, bite, bite. Front, back, front, bite, bite. Now this one is a little bit trickier because I have to know where in the front and backs I pivot.
That's true.
Because if I went front, pivot, back, back, bite, bite, that's the kind of stitch I'm going to get.
Right.
So you have to know where it's okay to pivot in your stitch.
That's the big thing about blanket stitch. So I've done this for a long, long time. One couple of things I want to point out to you about setting up your blanket stitch is find it on your machine. I'm going to stick with the, you know what? I'm going to stick with the 2, well, that's just the single stitch, the 204.
Yeah.
Should I try it with the 203? Let's do it.
She's going to be
Let's
brave.
do it with that one, because I really like the thickness of that, and I'm going to be using it on here. A couple things you need to do. Find out, stitch out a little practice piece. I've got this right here.
That is 100% the first thing you should do.
I've been doing some stitching on this one right here. I don't know if you can see that very well. It kind of matches, but my tan, you can see. And the very first stitch that this thing does, oh, one other thing you need to do. I like an open toe foot because I can see my fabric and where my jumping is going to happen. Yep. So if you have an open toe foot like this in your machine, it's clear and it has 2 little feet that stick out, and the needle goes down in between there. There's nothing in there to block your view. So I've got this on a 203, and I'm going to just go ahead and slow my machine down a little bit. I put it on 2. If you're really confident, you can go on the jackrabbit speed, the 3, but so it's pretty fast. I won't even do that. So I'm going to go ahead and go here. This is the forward, back, forward. And now I'm just going to get a vision in my mind of what this is going to look like. That's way too little for me. I don't want my blanket stitch to be that tiny. I want it bigger. So I'll go to the machine and I will, watching this little picture that it has right here, I'll change the width. So I'm making my stitch a little bit wider, and I kind of like it at about 4. And then the length, I'm definitely going to stretch that out.
And that helps you also so you catch it. If you do go a little off.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with 4, and in fact, I think I'm going to make them both 4.
You can save your stitch on your machines if you want to come back to that and like, hey, I'm doing a big project. You can either save it, or I would write it on a Post-it note.
So that's the next thing.
Yep.
I've got my little tablet, I always have that because I never can. You can't finish a project completely.
Yeah.
So I write it down and I just stick it on my machine. And now we're going to prepare for our applique. I'm going to start on the straight edge.
Okay.
Because it gives me more room to know exactly where this is going to jump back and forth. Yep. And since I'm doing the 3-stitch one, the forward, back, forward, that will give me a...
So it gives you a little bit of time to build some confidence on your project, to get in that rhythm of your sewing machine.
Exactly. So I'm going to start like right here. I'm going to put the presser foot down so that I can actually see where my needle is going to go in. So sometimes you might even want to roll the needle down in there. So I want that needle to jump in right here beside it, not in it, and not more than a thread away.
Yes.
So I'm going to go ahead and let me put that needle down. Can I do that? So I'm a little bit far from it, so I'll know that I can go forward with that. Okay, there's my jump. So let's see here. I'm getting really close. It looks like I might match just perfect into the point.
Oh, I love that.
I know, that's rare. Okay, and it did work.
Yay.
So I'm just going to go ahead and do this.
And you're turning it kind of perpendicular. You'll do your jump.
Exactly.
And pivot again.
And pivot again. So just keep in mind the pivoting is always happening on the outside and at the end of the third if you're doing the 3-stitch. So really after this, it's really not too bad. Going around a curve, go slow, pivot on the outside. So honestly, I think that's really all you need to know. It's the pivoting time, and take your time, slow your machine down, and then play with how long your stitches are.
That's awesome. Thank you.
It works great.
Thank you, Suzanne. I think that was fantastic.